What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers have had their struggles since LeBron James came back. I mean, even before that, but since LeBron James came back, LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves working together is the jury's still out, right? The three of them individually have all been great, and they've all had their moments and all that. Austin Reeves has been fantastic, but one of the things that I've talked about is Austin Reeves may need to go to the bench. And it has nothing to do with him and his style of play. The last 30 games, the guy's been ridiculous, right? And I mean, even in the previous game, right? This Bulls game, I mean, he did everything he could to win that game for us, and we just found every way to lose it, right? It was like we were on Chicago's side, and Reeves was by himself trying to represent the Lakers. So it has nothing to do with Reeves and his style of play. It's just you're not benching Luka and you're not benching LeBron. And also, you need LeBron for his size, strength, and defense. I know he, at times, can take possessions off, but he has been good for the most part. You need those two as a pairing out there. I really think that there is a genuine argument that you need to get some defensive pieces into the starting unit, right? I still like the idea of Dorian Finney-Smith. I know Lakers won the one game that they won was with Rui in the starting lineup over Dorian Finney-Smith, but Luka loves to be aggressive in the first quarter, right? It's what he likes. That's his thing. He likes to get himself in a rhythm early. And, he likes to take 10 shots, half of his shots in the first quarter, right? So you don't need, and we have seen at times Reeves kind of get phased out, right? And even LeBron to an extent at times, right? So if Luka is going to be Luka in the first quarter, then you want the scrappers, you want the guys that are just going to help defend and rebound and stuff out there. But not just that, even in that Chicago game, before the Lakers took control and were looking like they were going to run away with it, the Lakers, again, struggled in the first quarter, right? Because you don't have that balance, right? Where if you were to insert somebody, my opinion, Jordan Goodwin, I think you go with Luka, Goodwin, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and Jackson Hayes. I just think that's so much better of a balanced starting five. You got a guy in Jordan Goodwin and Dorian Finney-Smith that can both rebound, scrap, do the dirty work, defend out on the perimeter, defend multiple positions, right? And just be the hustle guy out there. Jackson Hayes can go out there and be, the lob threat and that guy. And now Luka can kind of free range, be Luka to start games. LeBron can kind of be the Swiss Army knife guy that he is and kind of do all the little things that he can do out there, kind of pick his spots. You can always inject offense if the offense isn't cooking, right? Or if the offense is a little off. But I just think between LeBron James and Luka, you're going to generate enough offense to start a game that you'll be fine, right? Luka's going to throw the lobs to Jackson Hayes, and Jackson Hayes is going to get probably, 8 points in the first quarter. And then, Dorian Finney-Smith and Jordan Goodwin, they've been shooting the ball better as of late, right? Both guys just need to knock down and keep defenses honest. Lakers will be fine. And then now your bench is Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, who now gets to continue to be aggressive and play his game, Jared Vanderbilt, and Rui Hachimura, who you can have him kind of play his game. And that right there could be your 9-man rotation. Sprinkle in certain moments for Connect and, Alex Lynn or whoever at times, sure, right? But for the most part, I think that's your kind of 9-man rotation and you're in good shape. I just think now you have, with both units, just much better balance. I think, when LeBron goes to the bench, you bring in Reeves, right? And now you have Luka and Reeves, who we've seen can coexist and kind of do their thing. And then you just kind of plug in accordingly based on the situation, right? And then now you can go Luka and Reeves, LeBron and Luka to start games, and then Reeves and LeBron and kind of scatter them. And then, at the end of games, if you wanted to, for the final, 4 minutes or whatever, play all three if you needed to, or, kind of mix and match or however you want to approach it, right? I think that that's something that is going to need to be considered at some point. Even with Rui in the starting unit, my big concern still remains. And it's something I expressed last year, and we ran into Denver, and it got exposed. And it's something that I'm worried about this year, especially when you're playing just better teams on a nightly basis. You're playing teams that understand and know who to attack and how to approach and whatnot, right? Like, my concern is having Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Jackson Hayes. You don't have that defensive piece anywhere on the court. And what happens when the offense gets stagnant? LeBron is your best defensive player on that court. That's not great, right? LeBron, don't get me wrong, again, has been very good defensively, right? He just can't put it together for 38 minutes a night. It's just, he's 40 in year 22. Plus, you need him to score and be the Swiss Army and do all these other, it's tough. It's a lot of ask from a guy like LeBron. So I just think now you're so reliant on your offense to basically be elite, rather than you can have just better balance and then inject if you need more offense, or hey, we need more, inject some more defense, or fix and configure your lineups accordingly, right? And again, it's nothing to do with Rui Hachimura. It's nothing to do with Austin Reeves, right? Both guys have been great. Rui Hachimura hit some huge shots in that Indiana game, all right? So to me, it's more about just having better balance to get off to better starts and have the intensity and the effort. Because Dorian Finney-Smith and Jordan Goodwin, the two things you're not going to have to worry about with them is effort, intensity, doing the dirty work, and scrapping. That's what they do. And they do it excellent. And so you now have that energy. You have that effort. You have those things that you need to really kind of get off to better starts, right? And then also third quarters, you can start that same unit in the third quarters, which I think is beneficial for the Lakers too, because Lakers' biggest issues, I know in the Chicago game they were better in the third, but for the most part, outside of one game, right, third quarters have been an issue for the Lakers. And not just with this current, I mean, it's been an issue for years, right? Literally. So to me, I just think if you have the better balance to start games and to start the second halves, you might be able to kind of put yourself in a better position early on. So that way, when you do have like Reeves and LeBron and Luka and all the offense stuff like that, you can start pulling away because you got the cushion, you got the better balance, and you got the things necessary to really kind of, create a little bit of separation so you can now pull ahead. And then it'd be up to the coaching staff and stuff to properly slot guys where you need to slot them and so on and so forth. That's what I want to see from the Lakers. That, I believe, is the best course of action for the Lakers, and I think would breed the most success. Now, I don't know if that'll happen, if we're being honest, but I do think the Lakers need to do something. I think they need some type of shakeup, genuinely. Because, I mean, again, we're like 3-8 or whatever in the last 11 games, something crazy, or 3-9 in the last 11 games. Like, it's just not been good. And I think, like I said, even in that Chicago game, Lakers got off to a rough start, right? And, you've seen teams kind of be either even or just like slightly one way or the other, where I just think if you have the better balance, it'll be easier for you to kind of create that separation early on, because now you're not just trying to outscore and outgun teams to start games. Now you can get this key stop. You can start setting the tone early on. You have the scrappers, you have the hustle guys, and then you have Luka and LeBron that are just generating everything, right? And Jordan Goodwin shooting 42% from three. Dorian Finney-Smith has been shooting over 40%. I think it's 50. I think he's shooting 50% in the last 4 games, 5 games, something like that. So I just think now you have the shooters, the 3-and-D guys. You have the lob threat center. You have Luka and you have LeBron. And when you look at Dallas, for example, because one of the things that I see from people all the time is Dallas was able to make it work with Luka and Kyrie, but look at the other 3 guys around them. You had an above-average defensive center and Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. You had who last year was literally the premier 3-and-D wing, and Derrick Jones Jr., and had his emergence and all that. It just was, I mean, literally, he was like the prototype last year. And then you had PJ Washington, who became the anchor of their defense. And I mean, a legit 1-5 defensive stopper. I mean, he was brilliant for them on the defensive side. Right? So you had, yes, Kyrie and Luka, but you also had 3 above average defenders around them. Right now, you don't have that around him and Austin Reeves. Again, your best defensive guy is LeBron. Where now if you have Jordan Goodwin and Dorian Finney-Smith, now you have those defensive pieces around LeBron and Luka, right? And then have a guy in Jackson Hayes, which, he's had stretches, right? I mean, in the 8-game win streak, when the Lakers were number 2 defense, Jackson Hayes, statistically speaking, was the best defender in all of basketball. But it was more the team defense, and he just kind of, I mean, most of the time he wasn't even defending the centers, right? Like you had Rui defending centers. So Lakers got to find that balance. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Phil, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle? Do you think that the Lakers do need a shakeup as far as starting unit goes? How do you think, no, leave it as is, or go back to the Rui unit? How do you feel? Either way, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.